guys, welcome back. How are you? I hope you're having a wonderful day today. Today I'm super excited because we are going to be doing a dupe video. So we're going to be testing out side by side an affordable option and a high-end option and see if maybe possibly we have a dupe on our hands. So we have here Colourpop's new Pretty Fresh Hydrating Hyaluronic Acid Primer. I used this in a first impressions video and I was super inspired because this reminded me so much of Fenty Beauty Soft Silk Pro Filter Hydrating Primer, which I actually do love this primer. I've used it several times. It's one of my favorite high-end hydrating primers. It's not only really hydrating and very silky smooth on the skin, but it also extends your makeup, which is a plus. So I was like, you know what? Let me test the Colourpop one out and see if we possibly have a $12 dupe on our hands. Now, I will be honest with you guys, the claims on both of these are slightly different, but I still wanted to test it out. Just, you know, you never know. So that's what we're gonna be doing today. Hopefully you guys enjoy. Hopefully it is helpful. Maybe, we'll see. Cross our fingers. Let's take a moment of silence and hope that we have a dupe on our hands. Okay, I'm so annoying, but anyways, that's what we're gonna be doing today. So grab a snack and let's see if we have a dupe. Okay, we are up close and personal. I just have brows and lashes on as always. I'll leave the details in the description box. So I'm gonna start off by just like the packaging, some of the claims on the primer really quick. So for starters, the Colourpop Pretty Fresh Hydrating Hyaluronic Acid Primer. This is 1 fluid ounce. I really actually love this packaging. I think they did a really great job. Retails for $12 and it comes with a pump, which I love. So that's a plus. So the claims I'm gonna read you guys are from Colourpop's website. So it says that this primer is lightweight, hydrating, and refreshes and preps skin to create a smooth canvas for makeup. So this obviously has hyaluronic acid in it, which apparently is very hydrating and very healthy for the skin. So I'll take their word for it. So I love me a good hydrating primer. I do have combo skin, but I always like to mix hydrating and matte products just to kind of balance everything out. I feel like it just works the best with my skin. Now this primer doesn't claim to extend your makeup like the Fenty one, but I still wanted to test it out throughout the day and see if maybe it does, even though it doesn't like say it necessarily as a claim. Maybe it does because the way that it applies, you'll see it looks just like the Fenty one. That's why I really wanted to test it out, but let's see. Okay, now for the Fenty primer, this is their Soft Silk Pro Filter Hydrating Primer. This actually also is 1 fluid ounce. The packaging is just, it seems a little bit bigger. But this one is glass, but it also does come with a pump, which I always appreciate. So this says it's a lightweight hydrating primer for normal to dry skin that nurtures, keeps skin comfortable, and extends makeup wear. So this could be used for normal, dry, and combination skin. So pretty much I feel like the claims are super similar on the Colourpop one, except the Fenty one claims to extend your makeup, whereas the Colourpop one doesn't. But again, we're still gonna test it out and see if maybe the Colourpop one does. Even though it doesn't say it, doesn't mean that it can't do it. So, all right, I'm gonna start off with the Colourpop one on my right side and then the Fenty one on the left side. So I am just gonna do about probably 1 pump. I feel like that's all you need because it is like very hydrating, so a little bit does go a long way. I'm just gonna start massaging this on the right side of my face. I will say also, let me take these off. I love the fact that both of these primers feels like a gel moisturizer. It feels so nice. And the Colourpop one smells really good too. Kind of has like a coconutty smell. It's not too overpowering, but it's really, really nice. I know my skin looks a little red after I do my primer sometimes. I'm super heavy-handed. I'm like massaging this in my face. Probably a little harder than what I should, but that's okay. Look at how pretty it makes your skin look. It doesn't have any shimmer or anything in it. It's just like straight up, just glowy and very beautiful. I like how it's very absorbing also, so it's not like sitting on top of your face. It really sinks into like your skin and just looks so beautiful. So I really do like the Colourpop one. I only used it once, but I'm very impressed with it. I usually don't have to use primers a lot to know whether I like them or not. And other side, of course, we're gonna do Fenty. I'm gonna just put this everywhere. I'm not gonna use any different primers today. I'm just gonna use these because I wanna just give both of these a fair shot just on their own. They both feel so similar. I wish you guys could touch them because they literally both feel like the same. The consistency and when you apply them on the face is like, honestly, the same. This is the Fenty one, which I do love. I almost feel like the Colourpop one is a little bit more glowy, like just slightly, a little bit. But again, they both feel the same. Very nice, very glowy, very hydrating. So Both of these primers are not going to do anything as far as filling in your pores or anything like that, like mattifying the skin obviously, so it's really just meant to hydrate the skin. So if you would like to go in with like a different primer for your pores, this would be the time to do so. Typically I would be using my Smashbox Photo Finish Oil and Shine Control Primer just right on my T-zone area, but like I said, I want to give both of these primers kind of like a fair shot just on their own today, so I'm going to skip out on that. I didn't even use primer water, I just realized, but that's okay. We're just gonna test the primers themselves to see what they're worth by themselves. Okay, so for my foundation, I'm gonna use obviously the same foundation all throughout my face. I'm just gonna use my Fenty Pro Filter Hydrating Foundation. This has been like one of my go-tos. This one and the NYX Born to Glow. It's pretty much all that I've been using if you watched my last video. So going to obviously apply the same, I feel like, on both sides, but just to show you guys, I'm using my Dose of Colors sponge. And I'm just gonna pounce this right into the skin. I feel like these primers are really ideal in the winter time, especially for me. Like, I have combo skin, but there's certain areas on my face that start to get a little bit more dry in the winter time. So I love me a good hydrating primer that doesn't feel greasy. Both of these primers just feel, like I said, like a moisturizer, but it's not like gonna weigh down your skin, so you could definitely do your makeup immediately right after and be good to go. I'm gonna do a little bit more because I have a couple little scars right here. So this foundation is obviously hydrating, but sometimes whenever I'm using, like for instance, my Smashbox Oil and Shine Control Primer, it looks a little bit more natural on the skin and not so hydrating. It's gonna look extra dewy today just because I do have those two hydrating primers underneath, but this is what the face is looking like right now. I think it's so pretty. It looks very fresh, very healthy, and again, I feel like a foundation routine like this would be perfect in the fall and winter time. Maybe not so much in the spring and summer, especially if you have super oily skin, but I think for my dry, oily combo normal skin people out there, this could be really ideal for all year, to be honest. I love glowy skin all the time because I just think it looks the healthiest. So I'm really loving the way the skin looks. I think it looks so fresh, so pretty, but we still have some really good coverage, of course, from the foundation. I think the foundation went on evenly on both sides. Like, there's really no difference, to be honest. I think, maybe call me crazy, but I do feel like the right side looks a little bit more glowy and more hydrated than the left side, which is from the Fenty side. I don't know. I think the Colourpop primer might be like slightly more hydrating, to be honest, than the Fenty one, but nonetheless, I feel like both of the sides look the same. Like, if you didn't know that I had two different primers on, you wouldn't even know. All right, guys, I'm back. I finished up the rest of my makeup. If you're interested in this look, I just filmed it this past week, so I will link it down below if you are interested. This is what my face is looking like right now, so I honestly don't see a difference in either side of my face. On both sides, every product went on super smoothly. My powder, my bronzer, blush, highlight, you know, everything. So I think everything looks really smooth, really fresh, really pretty. I like the little bit of dewiness peeking through, but I like how it doesn't make my skin look oily or anything. So far, so good. I'm really loving the way both of these primers look side by side. I think that they look honestly identical. We'll see how the makeup wears. Like I said earlier, I know that the Colourpop primer doesn't claim to extend your makeup, but sometimes primers do things that they don't always claim to do, and you know, sometimes it's a good thing. So we're gonna see it today. It is a little later in the day. It's like 1 o'clock right now, but we're still gonna do a wear test. I'm gonna come back later on and we'll see how everything looks. Also, I do wanna mention I did set my makeup with my Smashbox Photo Finish Weightless Setting Spray, which is my current favorite setting spray. It is so good. It really locks everything and seals all the makeup into place, so I had to use it today. So yeah, I'm gonna come back in a few hours and we'll see how everything looks. So I'll see you guys in just a few. Hey guys, I'm back. Clearly it is much later in the day. It is approximately 8:51 p.m. So at this point, I've been wearing the makeup for almost 8 hours because it was around like 1 o'clock or so when I first applied everything. So yeah, almost like 8 hours, 9 hours actually. So basically a full day of wearing the makeup. So I have not touched up. The only thing that I just did was apply a little bit of my Bite Beauty lipstick in the shade Honeycomb, just because my lip color completely faded. But this is what my face looks like right now. So you can see, like, I obviously am very oily. I need to touch up my forehead, but I didn't use like a mattifying primer or anything today like I typically would. But I will say, I think the makeup still looks intact. It looks in place. It looks really good. It's still very fresh. Looking at my right side of my face with the Colourpop side, I will say that it does look a little faded around my nose and like kind of underneath my eye area a little bit. I really tried to like be up close and personal so you guys can see my face and my skin. I have no filters on this camera, by the way. Like, a lot of people think that I do. I don't have any filters on this camera. I have nothing to hide. This is my skin for what it is. I can say, just like looking at my face, I hope that you guys can see what I'm looking at, but my Fenty side I feel like just looks a little bit more soft. It just looks more in place, whereas the Colourpop side looks like it's a little faded. Nothing crazy though. I feel like there isn't really a big drastic difference unless you're looking at my skin super up close and personal, but like just initially kind of like from a distance you can't really tell and maybe see what I'm talking about, but when you look at it up close you can kind of see it. Again, it's nothing big, it's nothing like oh my goodness, but it definitely is there. You can see that the Fenty side is more in place, whereas the Colourpop one is a little bit more faded in like this area right here. My first impression right now is that the Colourpop one might not be exactly an exact dupe for the Fenty one. I will say the Fenty one for sure definitely makes your skin look a little bit just like more porcelain, especially after hours of wearing your makeup. Everything is just more in place. However, the Colourpop primer, to be fair, that's not one of the claims. It doesn't claim to extend your makeup like the Fenty one. I think like if you're just looking for a really nice hydrating primer, the Colourpop one is a really great dupe in that sense. As far as like extending your makeup, you might notice after a couple hours that it will start to fade a little bit, but I mean, it held up really well. It wasn't anything crazy. I will say the first couple hours of wearing my makeup, it looked completely flawless. Not bad, especially for a $12 primer. I really feel like you can't beat it. So if you're looking for something super hydrating that makes your skin look really plump and very pretty, I think this is a good alternative. If you really want something to prolong your makeup for a super long time and hydrate your skin, I think Fenty is the way to go. But you know, as for the hydrating aspect of it, the Colourpop one is a good alternative, if that makes sense. So what I'm gonna do right now is just blot really quick, just because I wanna see how this looks after I blot and touch up a little bit. So I have a fresh stack of my Palladio rice paper blotting sheets, so I'm gonna blot with these. These are from Sally's Beauty. My favorite blotting sheets are so good. And I'm just gonna take this and, whew, thank you. The forehead needed to be blotted. Look at that. These are so good. I talk about them every time I do these kinds of videos, but they really are amazing. They really absorb all the oil and make your makeup look so fresh, as you can see, but it doesn't take away any of your makeup. So they're just the best blotting sheets on the market that I've ever tried personally. So again, this is the Fenty side. And this is the Colourpop side. For this Colourpop primer, not claiming to be very long wearing, like as far as like extending your makeup application, I do feel like everything is still in place for the most part, like just a little bit right here, but it's not bad. So my final thoughts, if you're looking for just the hydrating aspect of the primer, maybe, you know, you want to use something different to prolong your makeup, I think the Colourpop primer is a good alternative. But again, if you want both the hydrating aspect of a primer and you want to extend your makeup, I do think Fenty is the way to go. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. Is that the term? You get me. I would love to hear your thoughts. What do you guys think of both of these primers? Let me know down below in the comments. Which one are you gonna try? Do you have both? Which one do you love? I'm just really curious, and I'm curious to see what you guys think of my skin, because I always say you are my ultimate critics. So let me know what you think down below in the comments. I would love to hear from you. And hopefully this video was a little bit helpful. Hopefully I made sense with what I'm trying to say. Let me know what else I should do a dupe comparison on down below as well. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in a few days in my next one. Bye.